Lu Zhou coldly snorted at the sight.
You are wrong.
Your tricks may still fool children, but dare not try to fool me. Shirin Ning knew that everything had been seen through. Suddenly, cold sweat poured down, and with a thud, he knelt down on the ground, knocking his head heavily. Disciple acknowledges the mistake. Will never dare to deceive Shifu. He felt extremely guilty at this moment. It seems that he could feel that everything he had done at Lao Ba's place had all fallen into Shifu's eyes. Old San. Lu Zhou lightly stroked his beard and looked towards the huge rock next to him. Sure enough, the next second Mosheng Ren drifted over from nearby. Since you're here, just openly look at it. Do you think I, as a teacher, don't know you're hiding in the corner? Upon hearing these words, Mosheng Ren quickly knelt down on the ground and apologized. Looking at the two trembling figures, Lu Zhou realized how much fear Skypath Ji had instilled in their hearts. If it were an ordinary malevolent lord, they would probably have already risen up in rebellion. It's good that you're here, third brother. Fourth brother has some doubts about his fist techniques. Please give him some guidance. Cultivation matters cannot be taken lightly. Mosheng Ren was overjoyed and ecstatic upon hearing this. He quickly replied,
Yes, I'll obey.
On the other hand, Shirin Ning's expression revealed a despondent look as if wanting to cry but finding no tears. What the hell is going on? He's not even a match. He didn't expect Shifu to become more cunning. In the past, he always personally beat them up. This time, he actually let senior brother do it instead. After the two of them left the pavilion, everything here also returned to calm. Lu Zhou frowned slightly, feeling a bit depressed. Shirin Ning still harbored suspicions in the end. At this rate, sooner or later, he will find an excuse to spar with himself. It would be a shame to waste a peak fitness test by then. After all, there are only two left now. But this is not a sustainable way to continue. Maybe it's just necessary to do so. The time is approaching quickly. In the afternoon, Little Kite, who completed the mission, returned to Golden Pavilion Mountain. This time in Tongzi Town did indeed gather some information. At the instruction of Lu Zhou, she slowly began to reveal it. After Master repelled the top 10 experts, all 10 major sects are adjusting. It is said that they have stopped recruiting disciples recently. After Chanfeng Luo's death, Sky Sword Sect is also in turmoil. The elder disciple Jifeng Zhou has already left Sky Sword Sect, while the other sects remain calm.
The eldest brother.
Little Kite realized he misspoke and quickly stuck out his tongue. Continuing on, the master of the abyssal cult has sent people to inquire about the news of Golden Pavilion Mountain. It seems that he is very wary of Master. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou coldly snorted. I have taught him so many things, making him a master of the abyssal cult that everyone fears. His cultivation level has even reached the primordial spirit tribulation stage peak of great perfection, yet even so, he cannot do anything against me. Continue on. Upon hearing this, Little Kite recited all the information she had heard as if she cherished them. Mrs. Zhang from the town had stolen a chicken, Mr. Chen's wife had an affair with Mr. Wang, and some gangs had been destroyed. A strong man who called himself the womanizing thief was robbed and killed, and so on. She reported for about 20 minutes in total. Lu Zhou kept frowning as he listened. He then called the other two disciples up as well. At this moment, Shirin Ning could be seen beaten up with bruises and swelling on his face. Lu Zhou looked at the two and said,
I called you here because there are a few things I need you to do. Jifeng Zhou from the Sky Sword Sect has already betrayed us.
The third person, you are responsible for tracking and investigating. With his current identity and status, it shouldn't be difficult to join a new sect. Report back immediately once there is any information. Fourth disciple, Master has assigned you a rather special task. I have committed many sins in this lifetime. I have also taught you 9 infamous villain disciples, who are reviled by the world. Now Master wants you to clean house. Clean house? Shirin Ning was startled when he heard this. He quickly knelt down. He replied,
Although my disciple is at the Divine Court stage cultivation level, he is far behind the eldest brother Zen Yu and the second senior brother Roderick Yu.
Even junior sister Astrid is not my match. She wields the celestial rank treasure, Ring of Affection, which has taken countless lives. Her cultivation level is probably already at the primordial spirit tribulation stage. That's the truth. Lu Zhou naturally understands this as well. Those disciples who betrayed the sect back then relied on the weapons in their hands. Coupled with their terrifying cultivation level, they have become malevolent lords spreading fear throughout the world. Mosheng, Ren, and Lunalite did not leave simply because Skypath Ji had a backup plan. He didn't give them weapons, and the complete hard method. Leader Zen Yu possesses the celestial rank treasure Jade Blade. Second in command Roderick Yu has the celestial rank treasure Eternal Sword, and the sixth disciple Astrid Yi holds the celestial rank treasure Ring of Affection. Compared to these three villain disciples, Shirin Ming is indeed lacking. Upon pondering up to this point, he casually said,
8th Senior, Great Flo Chu is only at the Divine Court controlling Dao stage. Since you are at the Daoic transformation stage, you can start with him.
Have you seen 8th Senior before? Upon hearing Master's inquiry, Shirin Ming quickly answered that Disciple did indeed go to Fierce Tiger Ridge. It is just that 8th Senior is foolish. Disciple suspects that he was misled by the 7th junior brother, which led to his defection from the sect. It's not a crime punishable by death. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou remained silent, standing with his hands behind his back, facing away from Shirin Ming. After a moment, he slowly spoke.
Come here.
Shirin Ming was terrified when he heard this, and couldn't help but shiver all over. He then trembled as he walked unsteadily towards the pavilion. He looked into his master's eyes. After Lu Zhou finished speaking, he turned around. He stared at him meaningfully. You are very nervous. Ah. His eyes were wandering and uncertain. There was a faint flow of energy around him. Are you afraid that I will make a move against you? Shirin Ming was covered in cold sweat, and his legs turned soft after hearing it. He hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Shifu's cultivation level is immeasurable. Disciple knows that he is not a match. Being cautious is instinctual. It was an unintentional act. Lu Zhou looked at him in this state. He couldn't help but feel emotional inside. He was really scared. In the past, Skypath Ji only had one way of disciplining disciples, which was through physical violence. This resulted in them experiencing both fear and resentment. If one day, a disciple possesses the strength at a cultivation level to rival their master, Shifu, it is very likely that they would overthrow their master. This outcome was also inevitable in the path that led to where things are today. I know what you are thinking. Therefore, I am giving you an opportunity. Here is the mantra for the final layer of the Greenwood Heart method written on this paper. I will pass it into your hands. With this hard method, your cultivation level will advance further. Perhaps even entering the primordial spirit tribulation stage is not far off. As he finished speaking, he handed over the mantra. Shirin Ming stared in disbelief, his eyes widening. At this moment, his heart was in turmoil. Because according to his previous experience, taking it would at least result in his hand being broken. But after defeating the top 10 masters, Shifu's temperament suddenly changed. He even started using new tricks. In other words, this thing can be taken. With this thought in mind, he hesitantly took it over. Thank you for your guidance, Master. Disciple will definitely do everything in his power to clean up the sect for Master. Lu Zhou nodded in satisfaction at the sight, and then let him go. The two people below looked at him trembling with envy on their faces. I hope you all do your own job well. Don't disappoint your teacher. Disciple obeys. Mosheng Ren returned the bow, and then left the pavilion. Master, I will go repair the formation now. At this moment, Little Kite pouted, indicating that it also wanted to go out and carry out the mission. You are still young and lack experience. Just stay by Master's side. Seeing Shifu refuse, Little Kite said in confusion,
Isn't Jifeng Zhou's task supposed to be done by Lunalite's senior sister?
Lu Zhou took a sip of his drink and then explained that Lunalite's style of doing things is erratic and not stable enough. She completed the task 2 days ago and has not returned yet. It is very likely that she has left directly. Little Kite was shocked to hear this. Could it be that senior sister is not coming back? She clenched her fists angrily at this point. Lunalite's senior sister, how could she be such a person? Don't bother with her. Lu Zhou seemed unfazed. Since the letter was sent that day, there has been no news from Lunalite. Since the fourth disciple Shurin Ming only went out once, loyalty has dropped below the passing line. So Lunalite must have been subjected to a stronger temptation to choose to defect. He knows that disciplining these disciples is not something that can be done overnight. What needs to be done now is to quickly restore vitality and improve cultivation level. Little Kite swings her fists, feeling indignant for Shifu. This is disrespecting the teacher and destroying the ancestor. How can we not intervene? Lu Zhou found her very cute, so he said,
In the next period of time, you can also inquire about the news of Lunalite at the post station. I'll be alone for a while. You go cultivate by yourself.
After listening, Little Kite responded and left the pavilion. At the same time, while going down the mountain, 2 disciples met each other. Mosheng Ren said with a hint of sarcasm,
You are really lucky this time. Shifu not only didn't blame you, but also gave you the final layer of the Greenwood Heart method.
Shurin Ming replied with crossed arms.
I don't even know what our master is thinking. Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Overthinking? Mosheng Ren's expression changed slightly upon hearing this. I have successfully completed the task I was assigned to execute. Master rewarding me is also a matter of course. But Lao Chi said the master holds some kind of secret medicine in his hand. This secret medicine can temporarily conceal the injury and attract attention. So that's why I wanted to probe a little. Alas, it's too late for regrets. Mosheng Ren was truly amazed when hearing this. You really have a lot of courage. No need for Lao Chi to say it. Even I can understand. If Shifu had not been injured, would he still need to stay in seclusion on the mountain even at the perfection stage of cultivation? Knowing his temper, if he were in good health, he would have long since gone out to fight. In that great battle, so many powerful techniques were used, yet he remained unharmed. A normal cultivator would not dare to squander vital chi like this. Shurin Ming nodded repeatedly in agreement. Senior brother, the Greenwood Heart method has always been what I seek. With it, I believe that before long, I will be able to reach the divine court stage perfection. Perhaps I will even, like eldest brother and second senior brother, enter the primordial spirit tribulation stage. But now that I have truly obtained it, I have a feeling that is indescribable. Mosheng Ren understood the meaning behind his words. He asked since junior sister Astrid betrayed the sect, Shifu stopped teaching the final level of all cultivation techniques. This time, he's making an exception for you. Are you afraid that Shifu has other intentions? Indeed. Senior brother, what do you think his intentions are? As soon as he finished speaking, he was suddenly slapped by Mosheng Ren. My suggestion is to honestly complete the tasks assigned by Shifu. Consider the fact that Shifu is already injured and has a limited lifespan. He won't turn against us. The other top 10 sects have been heavily damaged. They probably won't dare to offend the Golden Pavilion Mountain again for a long time. Golden Pavilion Mountain remains our talisman. Shurin Ming's eyes lit up when hearing this, feeling much relieved. He immediately thanked with a gesture.
Makes sense.
Senior brother is truly wise yet appears foolish. Ah, listening to senior brother's words is like a refreshing revelation. Lu Zhou knows that Lunalite has defected. Because he needs to upgrade his cultivation level and restore his vitality now. Although he has recently trained Shurin Ming and gained some merit points, the total is only 1,006 at the moment. For the 3,000 merit points required by the system. For him to be able to advance to the next stage. Still a long way to go. Maybe wait a little longer. No. Can't wait any longer. This body's system is too weak. Can't afford to repeat Skypath Ji's old path. Skypath Ji's issue was related to lifespan. Cultivation level gradually declining. So, we could only continue with the draw as usual. With this thought in mind, he took action. Unfortunately, on 5 consecutive occasions, all that was drawn was, "Thank you for your patronage." Added to the previous 8 times, a total of 23 times of not drawing anything. Only accumulated some lucky points. Lu Zhou almost couldn't help but swear when he saw the situation. Draw 2 more times. Buy a reversal card with the remaining. He made up his mind and started to take action again. However, the next 2 times he still said thank you for your business. If I fail to draw again, I won't draw anymore. In this way, he became more and more addicted. 1,000 merit points were almost drawn in an instant. Now there are only 104 merit points left. He lay on the ground with a look of despair, though he recognized his mistake. But with only this little bit of merit left, he couldn't do anything. He could only continue to draw. This time it consumed 50 merit points and 33 luck points. Gained 3 volumes of the cultivation technique, Celestial Book, Dharma Body Threefold Pinnacle, and 10 reversal cards. He was shocked by the scene. Damn, the less hope I had, the more I drew it. He suddenly became excited and danced with joy when he realized the situation. This time I hit the jackpot. If you want to purchase the Threefold Pinnacle, you need 10 merit reversal cards, each worth 3,000 merits. You also need 5,000 merits, and will receive 3 volumes of the Cultivation Technique Celestial Book. Lu Zhou's mind moved slightly. He then opened the first Celestial Book, Humanity Scroll, and began to observe it carefully. But to his dismay, he found that the contents inside seemed like randomly drawn symbols, completely unreadable. Since that was the case, he could only set it aside for now. He then looked at the reversal card. According to calculations of around 300 days, drawing 10 cards would be equivalent to gaining a lifespan of almost 10 years. As he started to use them one by one, a huge amount of energy kept gathering into a vortex, being absorbed into his body. His originally loose skin also gradually became slightly tighter. And after using Dharma Body Threefold Pinnacle, Lu Zhou's stage instantly rose to Spirit Condensation Stage. Great flame cultivators all start from body refining. They cultivate their tendons, bones, and skin at the body refining stage. After reaching the 9th layer, they can unseal the 5 senses. After unsealing the 5 senses, cultivators can break through mystic comprehension, followed by the Spirit Condensation Stage, where they open the 8 meridians. Only after succeeding in this stage can they step into the Divine Court stage. Starting from the Divine Court stage marks the true beginning of a great cultivator. A great cultivator only has 3 levels: Divine Court stage, Primordial Spirit Tribulation stage, and Transcendent Heavenly stage. Throughout ancient and modern times, cultivators who truly enter the Transcendent Heavenly stage only exist in legends. No one has ever seen them. It is said that cultivators can only break through the limitation of lifespan and achieve eternal life by reaching the Transcendent Heavenly stage. Skypath Ji was only 1 step away from consuming her lifespan essence in that pavilion. It's really a pity. After drawing so many items, Lu Zhou felt very satisfied. He then opened the system panel. The system panel showed 2 tasks. Train Great Flow Chu and Jifeng Zhou. Currently, you can only obtain merit points from training Villain Disciple. He then analyzed the current situation. The 8th disciple, Great Flow Chu, is rather dull. In theory, he should be the easiest to train. Why hasn't he shown any loyalty yet? Based on the intelligence from Shurin Ming, it appears that there is someone influencing the 8th disciple from behind, most likely the 7th disciple. The 7th disciple is good at scheming and wants to establish a foothold in the cultivation world. He must have formed good relationships with the 1st and 2nd disciples. It seems that simply training a single disciple is far from enough. Only by improving one's own strength can one intimidate both the villain disciple and the righteous path cultivator. But at the moment, the cultivation level is still too low. Thinking of this, Lu Zhou shook his head helplessly, feeling quite difficult. Golden Pavilion Mountain has attracted too many people's attention. Let's first comprehend the celestial book before making a decision. The time is coming soon. In 2 days, inside the Moonlight Palace. A graceful and beautiful woman is gently waving the feather fan in her hand. She is Ji, the 9th on the blacklist of the 6th disciple of the current Malevolent Lord. She opened her eyes slowly and spoke as the figure outside approached.
Senior sister.
You should have left Golden Pavilion Mountain long ago. Why wait until now? The 5th disciple Lunalight sighed helplessly at the words. I don't have your luck. I thought I could get something from that old guy. I didn't expect that old guy to be so stubborn. Since you left, he has never trusted us. Ji floated down from above at the words. I advised you like that at the beginning. Although senior sister started earlier than me. But there are some things you don't see clearly. This old thing probably still has a lot of treasures hidden on him. It's a pity that all these treasures will be buried with him in the ground. But I can give senior sister an idea. When Lunalight heard this, she became interested and asked what the idea was. The old man dotes on the youngest sister. You can test his bottom line with the youngest sister. The 3rd and 4th sisters have ulterior motives. The old man will inevitably not completely trust them. Only the youngest sister can stay by his side to protect him thoroughly. Even though the old man has secret medicine and trump cards, these things cannot compare to a living person. Upon hearing this idea, Lunalight was suddenly shocked. To be honest, even if she were given 10 times the courage, she would not dare to provoke the youngest sister. If she angers the old man, Shifu, she would not hesitate to use her trump card. Like killing Chanfeng Luo, it would be disastrous. Ji seems to have seen through her thoughts. How so? Senior sister, are you afraid? Think about it. How has the old man treated us in the past? You must be ruthless. No room for any soft-heartedness. I understand what you are saying. But even the eldest brother dares not do so. If I do that, it might provoke him. Isn't that asking for trouble? At Ji's words, she chuckled and said,
Senior sister, you have been on the mountain for too long. People are getting dull.
Who said you had to do it yourself? Look at the eldest brother, the 2nd senior brother, and me. Haven't we all been living well so far? I admit this old guy has some aces up his sleeve. But he's also very cautious and careful. He won't easily use them. Of course. This precisely indicates that his hand of aces is limited. Besides, as he is getting older, Chi Ocean will also become drier. By then, he will definitely harbor hatred and use up all his cards, which will be more dangerous to keep him around. Therefore, it is more urgent to use some means to draw out his hand of aces. One step back, even if he knows it was us. Avoiding him means we can't defeat him or outlast him, right? Upon hearing this, Lunalight's brow furrowed slightly, feeling some sense in it. I have to say, the 6th junior sister's current position is not solely due to her cultivation level. She relies more on her cunning intelligence. Lunalight then temporarily stayed at the Moonlight Palace, continuing to plot with Ji on how to scheme against Shifu. And 2 days later, Lu Zhou, who was completely unaware of this, was still diligently studying the celestial book in the room. He was really depressed that the celestial book truly lived up to its name. Apart from the content on the front page, he could barely understand anything in the book. The rest of the content is all vague and incomprehensible. I simply can't understand the meaning behind it. At this time, the voice of Little Kite sounded outside the door. Shifu, you have been in seclusion for 4 days. The 4th senior brother came to see you yesterday. Disciple didn't dare to disturb you, so senior brother left first. Lu Zhou heard this, and immediately moved his body, before walking towards the outside of the house. At the moment of opening the door, Little Kite widened his eyes in disbelief. Master, you look younger. Lu Zhou stood with his hands behind his back, looking at her expressionlessly. Although he was only 10 years younger, there were still some changes in his appearance. The smooth-talking master closed himself off for cultivation, not only to improve his cultivation level, but also for the sake of these old bones. You have worked hard these days. Little Kite chuckled after listening and quickly clapped, emitting a burst of rainbow-colored flattery. Master, may you enjoy boundless longevity. You will surely break through the primordial spirit tribulation stage and become the first transcendent heavenly stage cultivator in the great flame world. Lu Zhou found these words very gratifying. He then lightly stroked his beard. After that, he inquired with old Sen about whether there had been any response in the past few days. Upon hearing the answer that there was no response, he felt extremely surprised. Investigating with Mosheng Ren's cultivation level, it shouldn't be difficult to check on Jifeng Zhou. How could there be no news at all? Little Kite worriedly asked if Shifu, the third senior brother, would end up like Lunalight's senior sister. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou replied that it was impossible because Mosheng Ren's loyalty is over 70%, unlike Lunalight's, which is much lower. Besides, he himself did not receive any system prompts. This means that Mosheng Ren has not defected at the moment. However, it's hard to truly know a person's heart. In this world, human hearts are unpredictable, so one must still be cautious. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but sigh. And at this moment, Little Kite suddenly pointed their arm upward, indicating that someone was approaching. Lu Zhou looked up. The person swiftly flying through the air, like a bolt of lightning, was none other than the fourth disciple Shireen Ming. Seeing the fourth disciple again made Lu Zhou feel a little envious. Because he could see through the final layer of the Greenwood Heart method, he had already grasped more than half of it. It has to be said that the talent of these villain disciples is indeed surprisingly high. Congratulations on Shifu coming out of seclusion. Shireen Ming fell to one knee on the ground after Shifu appeared. And he also shuddered when he saw Lu Zhou. Because Shifu not only appeared younger, but also emitted a terrifying aura. Lu Zhou, with his light beard and indifferent expression, said calmly,
"Let's begin. The final level of the Greenwood Heart method. You have understood most of it.
However, the cultivation technique you are practicing leans towards the wood element and holds great vitality. You should make good use of this advantage, and not let it go to waste." Upon hearing Master's teachings, Shireen Ming was overjoyed. Since the departure of the sixth junior sister, Master has not given any more guidance to disciple. I didn't expect that in such a situation of betrayal and estrangement, Master would actually be so generous in giving guidance to oneself. Shortly after that, he reported the main issue. Recently, when the disciple was passing by Anyang, he heard a piece of news. Family CII. It seems that members of the youngest sister's family have been kidnapped again. Disciple is willing to go investigate. This time, the mastermind behind it will be caught and dealt with once and for all. He had just finished speaking when Little Kite knelt down on the ground, looking worried. This time, let disciple handle it, Shifu. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou pondered in his heart. After all, Little Kite's family. She's understandably anxious and eager. However, when it comes to handling this matter, Shireen Ming does have more experience. His cultivation level is also higher. It seems more prudent to let him handle it. Just as he was contemplating, a messenger bird suddenly flew back in the sky. Little Kite immediately got up upon seeing this. He then took down the letter on it. Shifu is the third senior brother's messenger. Then, following the instructions of Lu Zhou, he slowly read the contents above. Disciples' investigation found that Jifeng Zhou had left Sky Sword Sect not long ago and joined the Orthodox Tao Sect. He was accepted as one of the 4 elders. Due to Yuanshan Zhang's profound cultivation level, the disciple did not deeply investigate the Orthodox Tao Sect but gathered information from various sources. Yuanshan Zhang has repeatedly publicly insulted the master, establishing a reputation in the cultivation world as being in opposition to the Golden Pavilion Mountain. Lu Zhou heard this, and revealed a completely indifferent expression on his face. There are many people in the world who hate themselves. He is considered a nobody. Little Kite paused, then continued,
During the investigation, Disciple battled with Elder Fong the ascetic from the Orthodox Tao sect for hundreds of rounds. Although I won decisively, unfortunately, I was unable to kill that cunning little fellow, Fong the ascetic. After Disciple adjusts his plan, he intends to sneak into the Orthodox Tao sect at night to assassinate Yuan Shanzhong to ease Master's resentment. After reading it, Shirin Ming was slightly surprised. The third senior brother is here, taking risks with one's own body. Lu Zhou also understands this. Lao San appears honest. In fact, he is bold and meticulous, very thoughtful. Orthodox Tao sect Master Yuan Shanzhong stepped into the primordial spirit tribulation stage 100 years ago, while the third senior brother is only at the divine court stage, missing a major stage. Assassinating him would be the same as sending him to his death. Little Kite heard this, and asked in confusion why senior brother would say that. Shirin Ming explained that Lunalight betrayed the sect first. Is third senior brother showing loyalty by doing this? Hey master, you are right. In fact, I am much more honest than him. Lu Zhou felt somewhat helpless after listening. It seems that Lao San's self-awareness is still stuck in the style of Skypath Ji. If Skypath Ji himself were still around, he would take the risk to secretly explore the Orthodox Tao sect at night. But even if he really went to Mosheng Ren, he would definitely prioritize self-preservation first, then pretend to be injured. This would lead to the growing rift between master and disciple, resulting in a vicious cycle. At this point, he slowly spoke. Fourth disciple, originally, I was going to punish you to repair the barrier of the Golden Pavilion Mountain. The barrier formation can block experts at the primordial spirit tribulation stage. But now third disciple has a task on hand. Go and help him. After this matter is over, cultivate well on the mountain. I will bestow you both with celestial treasures. Initially calm, Shirin Ming, upon hearing the grand promises his master gave him, he was immediately overjoyed and thrilled. He knelt down with a thud, hastily replying, Disciple obeys. A celestial rank treasure. Not to mention staying on the mountain for 3 years, even 5 or 10 years would be no problem. He finds it difficult to obtain a celestial rank treasure. The eldest brother Zinhale wielded the jade blade to decapitate tens of thousands of cultivators, earning a reputation worldwide. Among cultivators of the same level, without a celestial rank treasure, one can only be at the mercy of others. For many years, Sherfu has always been cautious and meticulous when it comes to celestial rank treasures. I didn't expect him to be willing to give away at this critical moment. How could he not be excited about this? Then he calmed down a bit and asked what to do about the members of the youngest sister tribe. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou said that this matter is not simple. He needs to discuss with Little Kite before making a decision. Disciple understands. I will go support third senior brother until the task is completed. Immediately return to Golden Pavilion Mountain to repair the barrier. After Shirin Ming finished speaking, he jumped up at Lu Zhou's command and left here like lightning. After Shirin Ming left, Little Kite also voiced her doubts. Isn't Sherfu just a Jifeng Zhou? You seem to value him quite a bit. Lu Zhou felt helpless at the words, as he completely looked down on the other party. However, he still fabricated a reason and explained it. This person had previously attempted to assassinate his master. The reason his master spared his life was to let him see the true face of the Sky Sword Sect. Even if he does not submit to the Golden Pavilion Mountain, he will inevitably come into conflict with the Sky Sword Sect sooner or later. Lil Kite was slightly surprised after hearing this because Sherfu used to go directly and resolve things with just one sword strike. I didn't expect that you would actually start using strategies now. She paused and then asked how to handle the matter with family CI. Lu Zhou replied, This matter is not as simple as it seems on the surface. The reason I did not ask for senior brother to handle it is because I am afraid he would be too rough in handling it. Because of Shirin Ming's way of handling things, it is almost the same as Skypath Ji's. They directly kill to save people, and then end it. As for the mastermind behind the scenes, they did not investigate carefully.
Upon hearing this, Little Kite knelt down with a thud and begged him to think of a solution. Lu Zhou had already made up his mind. He calmly said,
"In that case, I will personally make a trip to Anyang."
She heard that Shifu was going to personally take action. Little Kite couldn't believe it and widened her eyes, because in her impression, Shifu had not left Golden Pavilion Mountain for a very long time. Although no one mentioned why, they vaguely guessed it was because of his health. Little did they expect that this time it would be because of their own family affairs that he would personally take action. This matter must be kept confidential. Additionally, leave a letter to inform senior brother. If there are any other matters, the teacher will send messages through flying letters. Little Kite agreed and quickly prepared the letter. Lu Zhou then slightly dressed up, changing his appearance. After all, as long as he isn't recognized by anyone, it will save a lot of trouble. After getting ready, he summoned Bai Zhe. At this moment, an auspicious light shone over the Golden Pavilion Mountain. After a moment, a spiritual beast slowly emerged and poked its head out. This spiritual beast resembles a deer, but is not a deer. It has white fur all over, wings on its belly, and is surrounded by gorgeous multicolored light. Bai Zhe then circled in the air for a moment, before slowly landing in front of the two people. Lu Zhou calmly reached out his hand for her to get on. Little Kite was shocked after listening. She said she dared not ride Master's mount. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou said it was fine. Just sit in front of me. We will arrive at Anyang in less than an hour. The speed of flying in the air by strong beings on the Divine Court stage is indeed not slow. However, compared to specialized flying mounts, it is still lacking quite a bit. Furthermore, cultivators need their own vital chi for flying. Cultivators, who want to surpass flying mounts in terms of speed, can only use the flash step technique of the Great Divine Technique. However, this method will consume even more vital chi. So, it is generally not used for traveling long distances. And mounts are also classified into different levels. Most cultivators can't even handle them, let alone legendary mounts like Bai Zhe. They are already very lucky if they can capture and tame them. After stabilizing himself on the mount, Lu Zhou immediately gave a reminder. Then Bai Zhe let out a cry and transformed into a streak of light, flying towards Anyang City. Little Kite, sitting on its back, was overjoyed along the way. But Lu Zhou felt uncomfortable. After all, his cultivation level was still too low. This speed makes his current body a bit overwhelmed. An hour passed quickly. The city walls of Anyang City also appeared in front of the two of them. Lu Zhou stopped Bai Zhe outside the city. He paused for a moment. His body only recovered from the trembling state after a while. Little Kite is fond of it. He kept touching Bai Zhe and praised its beauty non-stop. Indeed, women view things from the same perspective. In order to avoid attracting attention, Lu Zhou immediately took in Bai Zhe. Additionally, the appearance and aura also need to be changed. Then the two of them arrived at the farmer's house outside the city. They changed into ordinary clothes before they headed towards the city with their aura concealed. Little Kite teased,
"Shifu, you look more like an old farmer now."
Lu Zhou waved his hand, indicating that it's okay. From now on, let's address each other as grandfather and grandson. Disciple understood. Grandfather. Little Kite tried calling out, but suddenly changed her mind, which made her feel very uncomfortable. But after she called out smoothly, she couldn't stop. She became addicted to calling out, "Grandfather," one after another. After the two entered Anyang City, they found it bustling with people coming and going. Little Kite looked around and casually took 2 strings of candied hawthorn.
"Hey, you haven't paid yet."
The vendor hurriedly chased after her, shouting and grabbing her. Little Kite was a bit angry at the words.
"Get lost. It's your good fortune that I tried your stuff. Keep yelling, and I'll make sure you regret it."
Lu Zhou felt helpless witnessing this scene. He scolded Kite with a single sentence.
"You have to pay."
Upon hearing Shifu's words, she immediately cowered, pouting as if feeling greatly wronged. "Grandpa. He's so fierce." I didn't even raise my hand to hit him as you told me to. Lu Zhou shook his head immediately upon hearing this. If everyone goes to grab like you, who would dare to make candied haws in the future? Little Kite also realized that this was not right upon hearing this. She responded with a sound, and stuffed a pile of gold and silver into the vendor's hands. The vendor did not expect the other party to be so generous, and quickly left happily from here. At this time, many people gathered on one side of the street. Little Kite, who likes to watch the excitement, was urged by Lu Zhou and happily bounced over. But she was surrounded by big and tall men. It was difficult for her petite body to squeeze inside. After several unsuccessful attempts, she felt extremely frustrated in her heart. "Get up!" Little Kite said, then stomped fiercely towards the ground. With a bang, cracks instantly appeared on the once hard floor. The surrounding crowd, seeing this, quickly got scared and retreated to a distance. As the crowd dispersed, several disciples recruited by the central market saw everything. One of them nodded in approval and said, "Not bad, not bad. Young lady, do you also want to join our sect? Your foundation is very good. The kick you just delivered showed the strength of body refining 5-layer. Let's do this. Register your name. From today onwards, you are a member of my Blue Long Sect Anyang branch." Little Kite felt a bit disdainful upon hearing this. When did this girl ever say she wanted to join the stinky Blue Long Sect? The man who felt insulted stood up. He shouted angrily, "You dared to insult me, you little brat!" Upon hearing this, Little Kite stomped on the other party's table, shattering it. "What is the Blue Long Sect? What are you people up to? Hurry up and tell me, my grandpa is getting impatient." The man, seeing the situation, tightened his grip on the weapon behind him. "Where did this wild girl come from? Are you here to cause trouble? You don't even know about the Blue Long Sect." Seeing the other party preparing to attack, Lu Zhou immediately walked over and coldly snorted. His voice contained a hint of inner strength and clearly reached the other party's ears. After feeling this inner strength, the man mistakenly thought that Lu Zhou was only at the 7th or 8th layer of body refining stage. Lu Zhou didn't have time to deal with him. Then he leaned in and whispered in the 9th disciple's ear, asking if the Anyang Blue Long Sect could help investigate the matter of family CI. Little Kite's eyes lit up after hearing this, and he turned his head to shout, "You guys, come here quickly!" Upon hearing this, the man's face immediately darkened. This wild girl probably doesn't know that the Anyang Blue Long Sect is backed by the Abyssal Cult. What? The Abyssal Cult? Little Kite was visibly stunned after hearing this. Master of the Abyssal Cult is none other than the eldest brother. Lu Zhou also frowned slightly. He looked at the man again for confirmation. "You mean the backing behind the Blue Long Sect is the Abyssal Cult?" "That's right, buddy. I think you're not bad. Just join the Blue Long Sect and enjoy good food and drink. In the future, the Blue Long Sect will also have your back. Your granddaughter has more potential than you. She's also pretty. I can talk to the sect submaster about letting both of you join together." The man finished speaking and revealed a smug smile on his face. Little Kite secretly glanced at Lu Zhou after hearing it. She saw that he was not speaking, thinking that he was angry. Master said not to kill people casually, but he didn't say not to hit people. When she thought of this, she suddenly brightened up. Immediately after, she lifted her long leg and kicked fiercely at the opponent's chin. With a bang, the man's entire body, along with, flew into the air. Little Kite followed closely behind. In an instant, another kick landed on his chest. Then she landed a punch on the man's face. Then her fists quickly followed up with a flurry of punches. The sound of banging echoed throughout the venue. Soon after,